Hello guys, welcome back to TechDose, and in this video we will see the construct BST from pre-order traversal problem. This is from LeetCode day 20 of the 30 days coding challenge. So let us look at the problem statement. The problem here says that we are given a pre-order traversal of a BST and we need to construct this entire BST, and after constructing we need to return the root of this tree. So when we return the root, then they will check by using this output. They will just traverse this level wise, and after traversing level wise they will print it and match with their test case answers. So in this case you can see if you traverse level wise, then it will be 8, 5, 10, 1, 7. This will be null because we don't have any left child of 10, and this is 12. So this is our output array. I hope you got this problem statement. So let us look at the BST property. What is a BST? A BST is a special binary tree where the root element is always greater than all the elements in the left subtree, and the root element is always less than all the elements in the right subtree. So this is the most important property of BST. So this property is followed so that we can store our keys in a sorted manner, so that when we search for these keys, then we can just search in log n time just by flowing through this tree, and this log n is basically the height of this tree. So this property allows us to search for a key in just log n time. Now if you look closely, then this property can also be said that this root element can be anything from int min to int max. Root element can be anything. So its left subtree element is always less than this root element. So this left subtree elements will fall in the range of minimum to 7. And since the left subtree's root is this 5, so if we take 5 in this subtree, then its left subtree elements will fall in the range of min to 4, and its right subtree elements will fall in the range of 6 to 7. So I hope you are understanding how this is done. If you take this root 8, then its right subtree elements will fall in the range of 9 to max. So whenever we move to the left subtree from a given node, then the left range will remain the same, but right range will change, and it will be the root value minus 1. So in this case you can see min to 8 minus 1, which is 7. And whenever you move to the right subtree from a given node, then the right range will remain the same, but the left range will be this root value plus 1. So in this case it is 9 to max. In this case you can see that all the elements are falling in the range, so this is a valid BST. In the second example you can see that first element will fall in the range of min to max, so first element is always valid. But after taking this first element, if we look at this left subtree, then its left child will fall in the range of min to 8 minus 1, which will be 7. So 5 is in this range, and in this subtree if you take 5 as the root, then this 3 should fall in the range of min to 4, and yes, it is falling in this range. And since it has no child, we will check for the right child of this 5. So right child should fall in the range of 6 to 7. But then this is 9 and this is not falling in this range. So this is not a valid BST. So I hope you understood the BST property. We will be making use of this property in order to construct our binary search tree. So let us now look at a simple approach to construct BST from given pre-order traversal. So if you are given pre-order for a BST, then obviously this first element will be your root element. So this approach says that 8 is your root element. Now this is our I pointer, or you can say this is our position pointer. Now you move to the next position 5. So whenever you move to the next element, you will check with your current root. So current element is 5 and current root is 8. So 5 is less than 8, so we will insert it on the left hand side. Next element is 1. We will again start from this root element and compare to find its correct position. So 1 is less than 8, we will move to 5. Now 1 is less than 5, we will move on the left hand side. There is no element, so we will just insert 1 here. Now again we do the same thing for 7. We will start again from the root. So 7 is less than 8, we will move on the left hand side, and 7 is greater than 5, so we will move on the right hand side and we will just insert it. And since we are already guaranteed that this is a BST, so we will have to just construct the BST using our property. Now the next element to be inserted is 10. We will compare with root. Root is 8. 8 is less than 10, so we will insert it on the right hand side. Now we will move to 12. 12 is greater than 8. We move to right element, which is 10. Now 12 is greater than 10 as well, so we will just insert 12 here. Now this is a very simple approach, and this approach takes order of n square time, since we are starting with the root node again and again. And if you have, let's say, all the elements in increasing order or all the elements in decreasing order, then you will have a skewed tree, and in that case you will get order of n square time, but this solution will get accepted as well. So I will optimize this solution, but first let us look at the code for this solution. So this is the simplest approach for forming a BST from a given pre-order. I have taken the root here, and this is our pre-order array. Now I will iterate for each and every element, and we will insert it into the BST. So this is just a simple comparison. If there is no node at the position we want to insert, then we will create a new node with the element's value, and we will assign it to root. If the node is already present, then we will compare element with the current node, and we will make either left call or we will make a right call depending on the element's value. This is a very simple code, and I hope this is pretty simple to understand. Now how can we optimize this solution? It is possible to get below order of n square solution. So our first element is always fixed, so we will just write root here, and this will be assigned to root. Now this is falling in the range of min to max, as I already told you. So the root element can be anything. Now we move on to the next element, 5. Now since this 5 is lower than this element, and this 5 also falls in the range of this root element, so we will insert it as the left child of this 8. Now we move on to the next element, 1, and we are currently at 5 since we have inserted it. Now this 5's range will be from min to 7, as I have already explained you in BST property. Now 1 is less than 5, and it is also falling in the range of min to 7. So yes, this is valid to get inserted here. So this will be inserted on the left child. So this will be current now. Current will get updated. Now we want to insert 7, and what will be the range here? The range for this will be min to 4. This is not falling in this valid range, so this will get returned to 5. Now at this 5, this 7 will be compared with this range. It is falling in the range. So since we have already returned from this left call, we will insert it into the right call. So this 7 will get inserted here. And what will be the range? It will be from 6 to 7. Now we move on to the next element, 10. Is 10 falling in the range of 6 to 7? No, it is not falling. So we will just return it from here. And since we have returned from both left and right call, we will simply return to 8. Now since we have returned from the left call, now we will check this 10 with this range. So min to max range is containing this 10, and we have returned from the left call, so it is guaranteed to make a right call. We will make a right call and we will insert it here. Now the range will also get updated. It will become 9 to max. Now we have inserted 10. Now we move on to next element, 12, and this is our current element, by the way. Now 12 will get checked with this range. So this range is containing 12, yes, and 12 is greater than the current element. So this 12 cannot be on the left hand side, it has to be on right hand side. So this will get inserted here, 12. This position value will increase, and this range will be from 11 to max now. So we have inserted all the elements, and this is the BST which we have formed, and we can just return the root pointer of this entire tree. So as you can see, this was also a simple process, and in the worst case we are traversing a given node 3 times. So what will be the time complexity for this process? It will be order of 3n, which will be equals to order of n, and we are solving it by using recursion. So let us now look at the code which I have written to get a good understanding. Now in this case you can see that we have a tree node which will contain a value, left pointer and right pointer, and this is the getNewNode function which will take an integer value and will return a node, making the left and right pointers as null. So let us now look at the main function. Okay, this is the main function. As you can see, we are given the pre-order vector, and from that I have found the size. If size is 0, then there will be no tree possible, we will return null. Otherwise, if size is 1, then we will just return the root, assigning the just pre-order at 0. Otherwise, if there are more than one elements, then we will construct the BST, and after constructing it we will just return the root. So this was our objective. Now let us look at how can we construct this BST. So this is the construct bxt function. This is taking the pre-order, that is the vector which was already provided. This is int n, which is the size of this vector, and this is current position which we are processing in this vector, and this is the current node in our tree which we will be recursively filling, and this is the left range and this is the right range of values which this current element can have. So this is a boundary case check. If we have processed all the values in the pre-order array, then we will return. Otherwise, if the current element is not falling in the range of left to right, then also we will return. Otherwise, if everything is sufficed, then we will check if the current element in pre-order array can form the left child of this current node. So if this pre-order at position is less than the current value, then obviously the current value's left child can be this pre-order at pos. So we will just insert it in the left subtree, and then we will make a recursive call. If we make a recursive call, then again we will return at some point at this location. After returning, or even if we don't make a call, we will again check for the boundary case, because we could have made a left recursive call and after returning the position value could have changed, because we are actually returning the position values. So we will keep on doing these boundary checks. So before doing the left call, we will do a boundary check. Before doing a right call, we will do a boundary check. Now after checking, if the element fall in the range and all the elements have not been processed, then we will make a right call. So obviously, if the element falls in the range and if it was not contained in the left subtree, then this will be contained in the right subtree. So we will make a right call. We will get the new node, store it as current right, and then we will increase the position, and after that we will just recursively call this function again, and finally we will return this position. So this position has no significance. This I have kept only to keep track of how many elements have been processed in a recursive call. You can even do it by using a static integer. Both the first and the second approach codes will be present in the same link. If you have any other approach or solution in different languages, then you can share in the comment section so that everyone can benefit from it. If you have any type of doubt, then feel free to comment below and I'll try to help you as soon as possible. Like and share our video and subscribe to our channel in order to watch more of these programming videos. See you in our next video. Thank you.